Already several powerful senators are calling for the Boston bombing suspect to be treated as an enemy of America. He hasn't been read his Miranda rights, and we still don't know if he'll face a civilian trial in this country or military tribunal, which has very different rules. He is, I should note, an American citizen. With more, Robert Schalk is a criminal defense attorney, and Keisha Hebben is a former prosecutor. Both sides represented here. Great to see both of you. Bob, a lot of people are already calling for the death penalty. We're far away from getting to that decision, but in federal court, does it matter where this case takes place, in Massachusetts or elsewhere, to get a death penalty?
No, absolutely not. If the charges are lodged of using a weapon of mass destruction to murder American citizens, they can seek the death penalty. It's going to be up to the Department of Justice, but Boston or any other venue, if the defense sought a change, would be able to seek the death penalty.
You can pretty much, Keisha, guess how the jury pool will feel about this.
Right, and that's all over the country, not just Boston. I mean, this is a very serious case, especially with what our country has been through in the past few years.
You both agree that it should be in a civilian court. It seems to be that that's the direction that it's going, not a military tribunal. He may not be in a condition yet, Bob, to be asked any questions, but is anything off limits?
At this point, they're using the public safety exception, but it's very murky with regards to the case law. The longest told time that a case has ever ruled in this is 50 minutes from the time of arrest for purposes of questioning someone for this public safety exception. He can't speak. They're going to try to say he's not able to speak yet, which is why we haven't started the 48-hour period. The goal here would be to get as much information as possible, because I don't think they need what he says for his trial. They need it for intelligence gathering.
Ton of evidence already.
But one of the limits of the public safety exception is that they can't ask questions that aren't relating to any type of imminent danger to the
So
citizens.
they may have limited themselves, you're saying, by going this route. Can they still Mirandize him?
They can, yeah. They
and
can.
then what?
If they Mirandize him, then obviously he has the right to invoke, if he wants to have an attorney or if he wants to remain silent. But that didn't happen yet, so...
I'll never second-guess law enforcement on this one. They did a stunning job.
Yeah.
We don't know if he was in a condition when they found him to ask any questions, Bob, but would there have been a downside to Mirandize him at that point?
No, there wouldn't have been, because what's the worst that he says? I don't want to answer any questions, and the best thing that he says is, I'll tell you everything, because in my opinion, at this point in time, we don't know whether or not he was merely following his brother and he didn't want to do this. He may be an open book. He may just want to tell his side, and if he does, that's only going to benefit, one, their strength of their case, and two, like I said, that intelligence gathering that everyone wants to get.
Yeah, very interesting. Keisha, let me ask you, I've handled civil trials, but not certainly in a military tribunal. What's different? Can you explain to folks out there how that may help if they do decide to go that route?
Well, excuse me, the difference is that they may not have the same protection as they would in a civil court or, a non-military court, where they may not have the appointment of an attorney that taxpayers' dollars would pay for. So it will be a more difficult process for the defendant. But in situations where it is extreme and there's terrorism, that's the reason why they have that.
All right, we got a prosecutor's view, a criminal defense, both esteemed attorneys. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll probably learn more about the charges this week. Meanwhile, an amazing moment of pride and patriotism. Next, the surprise appearance that put a lot of faces, or smiles rather, on their faces in Boston.